Yeah, in this video we're going to see about what is the importance of final keyword. Okay, so far we are seeing other keywords, super, this, static and all, right? Similar way, final keyword. Final keyword can be applied on variable and you can apply on class, okay, or method. Okay, you can apply final key on class, variable, class and method. Okay, you can apply on class and you can apply on method as well. Okay, so if you apply on variable, what will happen, you know, if at all it is a final variable, the value is constant, it is not going to change at all. You cannot change the value of that variable. Okay, if any variable you make it as final, you cannot change the value of that variable. Okay, you cannot change it. Similarly, if a class is final, you cannot extend that class. Okay, you cannot extend that class because that class is final. Nobody will allow to override or anything changes on that particular class and all. That is final class. You cannot extend. If any method is final, that you cannot override. You can't override that method. Okay, you can't override that method. So these three places we can apply the final keyword. One is variable. Variable you cannot when you apply the final keyword, the value is constant and never going to change. Class, when you apply final, you can't extend that class. Okay, you cannot extend that class into child classes and all. Method, when you make it as a method, then you cannot override that particular method. Okay, so these are all the different ways we can use. Let me go one by one and we will see how to make to the particular variable final and all we will see here. Okay, so let me create two classes. Okay, any class, final example let me take. Okay, if I have my class as vehicle, for example, vehicle class is there. I am having final int speed, final int my vehicle speed limit. I am taking it as in my 100. 100 is the speed limit, that is final. Okay, so if I am trying to override that value, I am trying, for example, in the same class only or in the child class, you can take my vehicle speed limit, for example, car I have taken. My class is car. Here the speed limit, okay, whatever the speed limit, I am changing it to 80. Okay, it is my local variable. Okay, this is my what? Local variable. Local variable is there, it is changed to 80. But when I am trying to change this local variable, okay, when I am trying to change this local variable, here, for example, same, in my class only, void print method is there, I want to print it. Okay, in this method, I am changing the speed limit to 150. Is it allowing or not? See here, what it is throwing? The final field, vehicle.speed limit cannot be assigned. This is final field. Okay, car example is there. Car also, your extends this vehicle. Now observe carefully here, your extends this vehicle. Now this variable is local to this one. Okay, this variable is local to the car class. But when I am trying to change the speed limit to 150, is it allowing? What error it is throwing us? This is final field. This field is cannot be assigned. It is the final field. Once it is final, you cannot change it. Once it is final, what will happen? Any variable, once it is final, you cannot change it. So this method is there. So I am printing just speed limit. Any variable final, what will happen? You cannot change the You cannot change the value of it. That is perfect. Now see here, what is the error it is giving? Type car is already defined. Okay, no problem. Car 1 I have taken here. Vehicle also already defined. I am taking it as 2. Perfect. Okay. So whenever you make any variable as final, you cannot change that value entire in this class. In this class, entire this class, you cannot change that particular value. Okay. Perfect. So this is the final variable, right? So we are trying to create an object to the class. We are trying to object to the class car1. Okay. I am trying to print which method? I am trying to print same method let we have. Same method here also. Okay. Same method let me have in cars class also. Speed limit I want to print it. So CA dot speed limit method is there. Okay, sorry, CA dot print method is there. Now carefully understand here what will happen. So you are trying to print it. That's fine. Okay, speed limit 80 you are getting your local variable 80 and all. Okay, local variable you are getting 80. If it is not there here, then what will happen? You are going to get the parent one. Since these two are in the inheritance, you are going to get the parent one now. 100 it is going to print. See, 100 it is printing. Okay, first priority will be local. If it is not there, then it will take inherited the value from the parent. But my point here is, when you make your variable as a final, you cannot change the value of it. Okay, please remember that. For example, this method I am making it as a final. Now you are going to get an error here. What is the error? Please read it out. Cannot override the final method. What is the error you are getting? If any method has a final, you cannot override that method. If any variable has a final, you cannot change that value. If any method is final, then you cannot override that. Okay, see here clearly it is giving cannot override the final method. Similarly, okay, I am going to make it as a my class as a final. Now see the error. See here, the type car1 cannot subclass final class variable 2. Car1 cannot be a subclass for the vehicle 2 because vehicle 2 is final. If any class is final, you cannot extend that class. That is the reason it is throwing error. Car1 cannot subclass the final class vehicle 2. It is the final class. You cannot make this class as a super class to any other classes. So that is the error you are getting. So total 3 things we are learning here. One is, when you are making final to any variable, you cannot change this value. You are making final to any method, that you cannot override that method. If any you are making final as a class level, you cannot override that method. I mean, you cannot extend that method. Okay, you cannot extend that method. So these are all the 3 different things where we can apply the final keyword. Depends on our requirement. Okay, so if variable level you need, you want to make it as a constant, then you can use. Or method level you don't want others to allow to override it, then make it as a final. You don't want to extend your class, then make it as a final. Okay, these are all the 3 different situations where we can use final and all. Okay, so that's all for this video. Any doubts, please come back to me. Thank you.